Thousands of students across Montana and the country walked out of class today to protest gun violence.
Here in Billings, high school students observed 17 minutes to honor the victims of last month's school shooting in Florida. And they had a message of their own today that enough is enough.
No matter their stance, most students who wanted to honor the Florida victims and speak out against gun violence were given the chance.
As Q2's Dustin Kleeman reports now, today's protest was a peaceful and safe moment for students to express their feelings. The district calls it a success.
Hundreds of students chanted, holding signs demanding an end to gun violence. More than 1,000 students joined the national walkout. Standing in designated areas, the walkout lasted 17 minutes, one for each of the 17 victims killed in Florida.
Save schools now! Save schools now! Save schools now!
Toward the end, students read the victims' names and paused for a moment of silence. Following the walkout, students then filed back into class. School District 2 officials who worked closely with student leaders during the process praised the student body for how they conducted the moment.
I feel it couldn't have gone better. Our students were excellent. They were on both sides of the issue. You know, when you can see young adults acting like that, it warms your heart that they're learning and they understand their constitutional right.
Now, students look beyond the walkout, how to feel safe inside their school.
Violence and gun violence!
We need to talk a bit more about taking care of our kids' mental health. The other thing is we will continue to take care of our buildings, make sure that we have every item we can to provide security. What I've also talked about is another SRO, and that SRO would focus on the elementary schools.
Dustin Kleeman joining us now. Now, a lot of students were out there today, but a majority of them stayed inside the schools.
That's right. If you take a look at the numbers, about 300 to 400 at Senior. West had a little over 400, and then 100 over at Skyview, give or take. Now, these aren't all official numbers,
right,
but that is what we've determined, and also school officials determined. The majority of those students were inside the classroom at the time of this. Career Center also having about 30. So on both sides of the aisle, I mean, if you agreed with it or disagreed with it, both getting to express their right, a First Amendment right.
All right.
Thanks,
so
Dustin.
much,
Appreciate it. Well, as we mentioned, 17 minutes of history in the making here in town today as students exercise their freedom of speech.
Q2 Samantha Harrelson spoke with some of those students here in Billings to hear their perspective.
We are the voice that is going to make this change, and we're the students who have to deal with this every day.
We didn't know what to expect, really, and so I thought it was like really amazing to look back and just see so many people. When I left my classroom, there were just kids like rushing the halls, and I got really emotional. It was so amazing to see this.
Hundreds of students walking out of class today to remember the 17 victims of the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, 1 month ago. But it wasn't just about remembering. The students also hoping to inspire change.
I think the message has gotten skewed throughout the whole process. The direct message is to support school safety and honor the 17 victims that were killed in the Parkland shooting last month.
This is a nonpartisan issue. We shouldn't have to be afraid while we're at school, and our education is also a right. So we weren't advocating for banning guns. We weren't advocating for anything like that.
But not all students felt that was the case.
I think that the people that started the walkout and were in charge of that really did push that it should be bipartisan, but there were a lot of signs about gun control, more gun control, and I think that that just kind of reinforced my choice to stay in.
For all the students who walked out, there were hundreds more who stayed inside. They say, like everyone else, they believe in safer schools. They just don't believe gun control is the answer.
I have respect for the people that led it because they wanted it to be peaceful and just a protest, which is absolutely within their rights, as long as we have our rights also. We absolutely believe in school safety. We just believe that our rights shouldn't be infringed on because of it.
Samantha Harrelson, MTN News, Billings.
All right, thank you very much, Sammy.
In their next effort, students and community members will gather in downtown Billings for the nationwide Walk for Your Life March. That march slated for March 24th at 10 in the morning. Students spearheading the event, we're told, have already secured permits to hold the event. The event will focus on changes in the legislature to enact gun reform. Q2 will have coverage both on air and online. Students aren't